Talk about the BET Awards real quick.
Only because we have to, I guess.
Really? I mean, I have a, I don't
Go
know,
ahead.
man.
No, no, no. Go ahead. No, no, no. I mean, I have some thoughts. They're minute. You
Well, see,
know.
this is my thing. This is my thing. I think that the whole organism of an award show is a dead technology. I think
Mm.
that the only award shows that we're probably going to really have in the future are ones that are ran by academies like, the Oscars and the Grammys. I mean, because those are actual staples and those are, it's not about who watches it. Like, they're going to give these awards regardless if they put them on TV or not. You're going to see that. None of the other awards are really necessary. I hate to say it like that. We might continue to have Billboard awards and things like that to chart numbers, but even that's convoluted. So it's become one of those things that's problematic in a sense because if you turn on BET right now, you're probably just going to see a bunch of Fresh Prince and Martin reruns. And it's very difficult, and this goes for MTV too. I don't want to just single BET out. It's very difficult to gauge an award ceremony based on music on a network that's supposed to be playing music, but it's not. We used to be able to look at the BET Awards when they played music and understand, like, yeah, man, that Ja Rule song was getting burned. It should win. You know what I mean? You saw these people actually performing on this network, so you're very familiar with them with the network and everybody that's hosting the show. You got, I mean, not to be funny, I love Taraji, but she has no real connection with BET like that. Like, back when BET actually had VJs who were playing music videos, you would see Free AJ come out there. You would see, people that you were familiar with on the network, Tigger, whatever. And it made sense in that way. Now it's like, I don't know. It's all over the place because it's all rooted in music. And if you're not playing music and you're not supporting music, it's pointless. Michael Williams with the super chat says, "Who had the better performance on I Love the Dough, Jay or Big?" I give you that one.
That's actually some of my favorite Jay stuff, but I've always felt like it was a draw. If you wanted to give it to Jay, I felt like you could give it to Jay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think it was
On
more in his
on
lane.
that.
I think Big adapted to Jay on that record again. Angela Winbush is on there, and Jay does great over, especially in that era, does
No, I
great
mean
over
you
Angela
want to know what
Winbush
it was for me?
samples.
It was actually the third verse. It was the way Jay freaked the third verse where I was like, okay, miraculous, niggas stay full, niggas skip the ball because we mad at dolls. That's your P89s that we clapping the draws and we clap the doors of your Acura. Snap like camera raws on amateurs. Make you hold dance, hold on, what do they say? Make you all dance, hold a hammer to yours, jig a big rock ice, no cracks and flaws. Everybody got a back. Everybody got a part to play. Back to
That was
yours.
yours.
Yeah,
JB
no,
was
no, no.
here
Super
says
nice.
JB was here says I never heard of Isley and Mtume sample that don't work. We're gonna get to that too because
Okay,
Pete
okay,
Rock said something.
but when you're saying that, how many people have used the Isley sample
Yeah,
and an M2 sample it executed?
yeah,
Because when you're splitting hairs, it comes about who executes, doesn't it?
it
And
does.
like Big executed those records, and so like one of the things that I ran, that's a dude on Twitter that was talking about Nas and Jay are better. He's like, well, but Puff, and I'm like, well, yeah, Puff is there. Puff can't rap, you know, like like Puff didn't spit those bars on Everyday Struggle and Give Me the Loot and Juicy and Big Papa. Like that's big. Big made that happen. He bought the life a whole. But hey, we all love the Can't You See with the Big Payback sample. Is that
Of
record
course,
the same without Big's intro? Is
it's
Only
not.
You the same without Big spitting his bars? Room 112, where the players dwell? And stash more cash in Bourbondale's. Inhale, make you feel good like Tony, Tony, Tony.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I mean?
No,
Like is that record? Those records aren't the same without Big.
I do kind of wish that Big would have changed his verse on the remix, but I do think also if Big would have had a new verse, Mace wouldn't have gone last, and Mace needed to go last on that one because that launched Mace's career. Thumbs up in the
Right.
chat, man. We about to get real deep in here, man. I really want to talk about a few things, man. I want to talk about that Jack Harlow performance at the BET Awards too. That was one of my big takeaways. Um,
Go ahead.
well, all right. Well, this you see on the screen is Jack Harlow with the Lil Nas X shirt on the red carpet. I think that he was wearing the Lil Nas X shirt because Lil Nas X didn't get any nominations for a BET award and was making a big fuss about it. All the way to the point where Lil Nas X went out there and urinated on a BET award. Now, this is where I'm at with it. Regardless of what you think about BET now or who owns it now or what it's become, BET is too important for any black artist of any genre to be disrespected in any level, on any level because you didn't get a single nomination, whatever, whatever. Look, I get it. Lil Nas X, he kind of got his whole MO with trolling, whatever, whatever. But again, there has to be a line drawn where certain things are beyond being disrespected publicly like that.
Hey,
And,
hold on.
I'm upset with some of, our peers that haven't said anything about this because to keep it all the way 100, without BET, not a lot of black artists would have the careers that they have. And the proof's in the pudding for that. MTV was not supporting black artists on any level. I mean, if you're not Michael Jackson or Prince, and when BET came along, and Rap City's older than Yo MTV Raps for a reason, BET came along and forced MTV's hand to actually play black music to the level that they ended up doing. And many people rode that BET wave. I'm glad Puff got recognized, but again, the Puffs, the Jays, the Dre's, all of these guys rode the wave of BET. And it got them to where they are and had them reach an audience that radio couldn't get them to. So for BET as a brand and as a staple, and what BET means to the culture, to be disrespected like that because you didn't get a little nomination, that shit needs to be checked, man. So I said phone on silent, Mike. It is, man. That's my Mac. Everything's connected, man. But yeah, I thought that shit was whack. And with all that being said, Jack Harlow gets on the red carpet with a Lil Nas X shirt. So I guess Jack Harlow, he's cool with Lil Nas X urinating on a BET award. So, and then he performs. And then you got Brandy and Lil Wayne coming out there to bail him out. He's out there dancing off beat with the backup dancers. It's horrible. It's horrendous. And this is all I'm going to say. I think at this point, you have to earn your way in there like all the other performers and perform by yourself. Why did Brandy and Wayne have to come out? Show people why you're supposed to be there on your own. Am I off course on this?
You're not off course on anything. We're going to have to pause it for a second.
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, this is just your organization. So I believe Dumb It Down's been blocked. I'm not sure what he said or how it's been going about, but I'm going to ask respectfully that we probably let him back in because I know that's what you
nobody should be blocked. Hold on. What? Who's blocking who? Because
I mean, Terminator said he's just being disrespectful towards me, and I guess he was continuing. I didn't read the comments because I was still in my notes, but he is has been blocked. But I mean, this is your show at the end of the day. So
let's get that taken care of real quick.
Like I'm fine with him being in here. I appreciate Terminator too, but it's like
I mean, let's do a show, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, I just had a talk with somebody, and it's like, this there is some of this that kind of like comes with it. I actually kind of wanted to have an intelligent discourse about some of the things that happened last week, at least like on a musical level,
Yeah.
in terms of where I was coming from, and kind of break it down that way. So like, like for me, Mike, when I did actually play football and have the opportunity to, I mostly had to play either wide receiver or cornerback. When you play cornerback, you kind of got to have a quick memory and recover fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not think about the old shit so you can move to like the next play. So that's kind of how I look at that. I just want to make sure that, okay, if Dumb It Down's,
Is Dumb It Down back on?
I don't know. I'm just making sure. Okay, LP said Dumb It Down isn't on here. Okay. I mean, I just want to make sure that everybody's getting fair run and like people don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, man, this is about people to be able to have their own voices about, hip hop, whether we disagree or not. Y'all
Yeah.
work on that Terminator. Get him back on.
Yeah. I mean, like, just if anybody's off, like, go
Because
ahead and put them
again,
back
I mean,
on. I'm over everything that happened. I think like I addressed everything that I had to address. Like I've been past it. I mean,
because
Mike,
what's
to your
happening
comments
is
as
we're
far as
trying to
everything
do.
concerning Jack Harlow. I mean,
Well, what we're trying to do, I mean, I want to say this real quick. I mean, what's happening is we're just trying to go on with a whole nother show, and y'all letting this carry over from another show, and now we can't even get to the topic. So let everybody in. I want to get to the super chat real quick, and then you go ahead and say what you got to say. Mad Max says Lil Nas X is an LGBTQ Tekashi 6ix9ine, and because he's a part of the group, he gets protected to troll. That's a really good point. And, I think that we have to look at trolling as trolling, LP says, Mike, can't say that the award doesn't mean anything, but the artists take it that serious. X wants to be nominated and act like he's too big. Yeah, I mean, again,
I think there's some.
It's some.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just gonna say it's some entitlement there.
I was about to say, I think there's some clout chasing going on. You feel like there's some entitlement. I feel like there's some clout chasing going on because it's like, I'm not being funny when I say this. And we'll get to the Jack Harlow thing with it too.
Uh-huh.
How serious do these artists really take the BET Awards and the integrity of the award now outside of the clout and the notoriety and the whole scene and the whole media, social media aspect and building your brand aspect of it out? Like, how serious do they take the integrity of the award? Do they really feel like think about when Stevie Wonder was winning like all of those like Grammys for album of the year? What it was, it like 4 out of 7 years or something like that.
Yep.
He won best album.
Mid-70s.
In the 70s.
Yep.
In the 70s, like from 72 to I think from 78, he won album of the year 4 times, right?
I think it was like 3 or 4 times, something like that.
I think it was like 3 times in like 5 years, and then I think he won a couple years later because I think Songs in the Key of Life won. I think too. I think that was the last one.
It was the last one. Right? He might have got one for Hotter in July, but I know Songs in the Key of Life was the last one in the 70s.
Right. That's what I mean about the 70s run, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so like when you go back and listen to the integrity of the music, it's like, oh, well, it matches. And see what happens when you don't audit the integrity of the music properly. Well, even the artists themselves kind of lose respect. And so this show has become like a lot of like marketing and branding and grandstanding and very, very little about the music, quality of music and quality of artists. And so what you're seeing is that unfurl on multiple levels where you see once again, the appropriation of Jack Harlow sneaking in, the co-signage and the welcoming to it.
Yeah, it's like, man, you can't do a performance by yourself. Wayne and Brandy have to come out and save you.
Yeah, and then BET pretty much owned by white people, essentially. It's Black Entertainment Television. It's owned by white people, And so, like, all these things happen, and they start kind of, like, breaking themselves down, kind of like, like an enzyme.
Well, this is the thing, too, man, and there's a whole lot of places to go with that. Let me get to this super chat. Michael Williams says, Stillmatic intro, a Dynasty intro. Dynasty intro. But, all right, this is where I'm going to go with this, man. BET
Still mad.
doesn't play any original content anymore, right? It's nothing but reruns. So you have to think, what's the staff's day to day like, or is there even a staff in their day to day? It
Their
doesn't.
stance.
It doesn't take too many people to press a button and say, Fresh Prince is running, or we're gonna run Medea or whatever. So the only thing they have to focus on, really, for the whole year, is the BET Awards. And with that being said, from a production standpoint, from a sound standpoint, a lot of that stuff was not on point. And that's unfortunate. Yes. Um,
You and I believe last year around this time talked about how we needed to start like really thinking of a game plan about. I believe the point that I referenced last year around this time was that whoever's in charge that's our age need to be walked out of the building and given a nice severance package and find other work. And the people who are like 20 to 25 to even 30 that are in the building need to be hired, or the talent needs to be acquired to kind of reformat and regurgitate this product if you're going to continue to feed it to the masses, because it's really not an award show for music. It's like, that's what I mean. Somebody kind of
well, it's
needs to
not a
just
network for
reframe it.
music anymore,
Like,
though.
like if this is like the media, like in marketing and branding awards, like let's make it that and format it to that. Is if this is like the Instagram challenge, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like who got the most followers and likes? Because I mean that's essentially what it's turned into, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that as long as you want to call a spade a spade.
But at
You
that
know?
point, with it losing that purpose, like you said, that's a whole nother brand. I think that not just BET, and I mean, I kind of started off my little tangent with this. I think a lot of award shows need to just be, discontinued altogether. And like you said, it might need to just be something new, something else. But this isn't a music network anymore, and you can even see by the performances that most of these people, the new and established, they sounded bad, man. And I love Jodeci. You know how I feel about Jodeci. I love Mary. These people didn't sound like they were, even Puff when he was performing, like they didn't sound like they were performing in front of millions and millions of viewers on television. Like it was sloppy. Kim came out there like not knowing the words. It was bad, man. And it was like I'm sitting there looking at it like, are people, inebriated or something? Like, or they, like you said, just not taking this serious. Now I
They
don't
don't take
know
it
who to
serious.
blame more for that. Is it BET or current staff and whoever's putting this together? Because you do have to create boundaries and create standards for people who are there. But even the newer artists that were performing, I mean, they might have been nervous. I mean, the sound was off a lot of times. One guy got caught lip syncing. It was
This is what
it
I mean.
you know.
Okay. I'm sorry, I
And
just had to do
a
something.
Jack Harlow couldn't even do the electric slide out there. I mean, it was it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that.
Okay, so this is what I mean when I say they're not thinking and that they need to get somebody who is thinking. But I mean there needs to be a way of rebranding and marketing this. First of all, let's address the first thing.
Hmm.
The way that they have these seating arrangements set up at these award shows, that's like it's like the shit that our grandmothers watched. I told you, Mike, they need to change these seating arrangements, like get some high top and like high stool chairs, like with some wet ice bars. They need to make this sexy. All right? Like they need to make it look good and attractive to people, like they want to be there. It's like, because here's the reality of the matter. It's like for real, if you're a hip hop fan, here's what you know. It's like, well, Jay and Nas ain't pulling up in the front row neck anymore and like sitting and chilling. So you have no reason to want to like sit in those seats. They need to change literally the aesthetic and architectural layout of how the seating arrangements are designed in these shows. And quite frankly, even though I know it's supposed to be a room of charismatic people and personalities, but you kind of need to separate the real personalities to keep the party going too. It's like, Kevin Hart and Cat Williams need to be seated on opposite sides of the room. Not because they got a problem, but because of who they are personality wise and because of how they can galvanize the situation just off of them being there in a certain placement. So even placement is important. They're not thinking. We live in a culture. It's like literally when they're doing these rollouts of the names, you know what really should be happening is they should pull up their Instagram profile and they should go through the variety of pictures while they're talking about the person. And then if they win, they should pick like the best picture or the most like picture that they have on Instagram and show that while they're coming up to get the award. Little shit like that. Stuff that I can literally pick up. Stuff that I can think of off the top of my head while we're having this show. I'm not saying fire everybody involved because I'm not for people losing their jobs. You get what I'm saying, though? They're not
I get what you're saying. Let me play devil's advocate, though. Let me play devil's advocate. You're talking about catering television to people who don't watch television. And that's a problem. I just say do away with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, award shows don't even have a place anymore. It's something else that needs to be out there.
No, I told you, reformat it and turn it into something else if you're going to do it, though. That's what I mean.
But it's still going to be on TV, right? I mean, because...
Like, how about this? Make it the ultimate social media engagement mixer live on television. You feel what I'm saying? Like damn the award show part of it, because it's essentially a mixer. You know what it is? We be making all the like aftermath and Rock Nation brunch like jokes. That's essentially what it is, though.
It is.
You feel what I'm saying?
It is.
It's essentially just that now. It's like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, call a spade and freak it right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, no, get some high tops, get some ice bars. Like, no, make this sexy if that's how we doing it. Have little shots and little fruit cups flying down for people to grab and snatch up and like, no. Like, we kicking it, we partying, ain't it? Ain't we? We making it look good. That's that social media culture, right? Well, then let's do that. Let's do that right and make it fly.
I think if we're gonna
do it. I want to sit next to this nigga all night, not to win, and to win an award it don't matter. No, I'm not coming.
You know, I think the thing
I'd rather go to the Rock Nation brunch.
I think the thing is too, though, Coop, and there's no way around it.
Passed around.
It's no way around it. Like, you're on a network that doesn't play music anymore, so it's like, how are we actually quantifying anything? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Listen to what you're saying, though. Like,
I'm just saying, like, you can't even quantify or qualify the award show. Like, what's supposed to get people interested in a show that, you know, doesn't even have... This is the payoff, right? Like, I would say let's look at the BET Awards or any award show. That's like the finals, right? This is the payoff. This is the championship. How you gonna have a championship with no regular season? How you gonna have a final exam without a regular class or a regular course?
Oh, is that a question? Was that rhetorical?
I'm just saying. That's question? What it is. Okay.
Oh, no, it's a valid question.
I mean, you just can't. I mean, the thing is, like, what the award show was designed for in the first place was to award people who got played on that network that played music. And if you're no longer playing music, I mean, what are these awards for, and who are they? How are they being quantified?
Social media mixer. It's a social media mixer.
Well, that's more of a YouTube awards.
Let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I mean, YouTube already does that. YouTube already does an award show.
Okay. I want to let BET know.
Yeah.
Me and Mike will pull up. I'm going to coordinate the event. Mike will be the diplomatic host.
You got it. I'm out.
I promise I'm not going to snap on nobody.
I don't believe in award shows. I don't think they have a purpose now. I mean, I think you still believe in them. I don't believe in award shows. I think that the Oscars and the Grammys
don't believe in them, Mike, because they're not going to let me host, so you're going to have to host. So if you're out, I'm kind of out, too. They're going to be like, we're not going to let this host.
No, I'm saying they don't have a purpose. You can't quantify it. Like, they have like 1 million nominees, and like it was one award. It felt like it was like 8 nominees. I don't know.
It's very problematic.
But anyway, the performances were very subpar, unfortunately. But I think that one of the things that...
Okay, so if you want to like pick nits, you know, the performances are the most problematic part of all this because...
Yeah, because that's what it's supposed to be for anyway, really.
And there was a time where it's like, even when the award was losing its integrity, the performance aspect of it had, you know? Like, didn't like Usher or Chris Brown come from the ceiling one time at one of these things? And like, sir, like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Didn't Beyonce get in a cage one time up on here? You feel what I'm saying?
She's done a lot, and
So,
she's opened up the show. I remember she opened up with Deja Vu, and but
this is
again, man.
okay. And so this is what I mean when you miss moments and opportunities. Do you remember when Beyonce opened the Grammys with Prince?
Mm-hmm.
I think they sang the Beautiful Ones, wasn't it? The Beautiful Ones.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was the Beautiful Ones. BET don't have nothing like that. They don't got no smoke like that. You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know about
Like
that. No. I'm not going to give you that. Michael Jackson and James Brown were on stage together
in
at the
my back
BET
of my mind, I'm
Awards.
thinking the Michael Jackson James Brown thing.
Yeah.
But wasn't that kind of like impromptu freestyle and not playing? You feel what I'm saying? Like, because here's what I remember about the Beyonce.
No.
It's like them things. No.
Michael never just pops up somewhere.
Came about
That
the
was
risers,
playing.
Mike. It's like they started levitating and shit. I was like, what the fuck going on? I was like, they got these niggas levitating. I was like, this is amazing.
No,
like,
man.
They'll never do this shit on BET.
No. I disagree with you. I think when Michael Jackson pulled up on James Brown, I don't think there's any award show has ever topped that. Period.
No. But that's what I'm saying.
That's like the biggest moment in award show history.
Those are the type of things that BET did not plan for, because you can't incite the type of behavior and love that Michael Jackson has inside of himself for James Brown and the true excitement. Like BET can't qualify or quantify or stage or write something for that moment. So that's
I don't think you're giving them enough credit.
Listen to what I'm saying. That moment is more unto the uniqueness of how Mike feels about James Brown and who James Brown really is, and how all people should react that way. But if we're talking about set up stage performance, like, I'm talking about the show. I'm not talking about the people, Mike. I'm talking about the people that put the shows together. I'm talking about how it looks.
Oh, you're talking about that? Job. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I'm talking about the production job. Of
a lot of the times,
like there's no fucking with Mike.
I don't want to make excuses for BET like that because I don't know the particulars, but I would imagine when you talk about production and those type of things, budgets come into play, and I would imagine BET probably gets a lower budget than all the other award shows.
You need to get your weight up, not your hate up. Get your weight up, not your hate up.
Well, I mean, it's not, it's not a get your weight up thing. No, it's television. Coop. They're in the television atmosphere. Let me finish.
Why don't they have that money? Because they haven't done their job.
I disagree with
Hold on, listen to what I'm about to say. Listen to what I'm about to say. They haven't done their job as businessmen and women in commerce properly. Look at the way the Black community spends money and disposable income, okay? This is Black entertainment television. They have not set up any sort of commerce devices that have Black people invested in BET on a capitalistic level to bring them up to that level. The money's right there because it's us. They haven't done anything to capitalize on the commerce. That's not my fault that they have poor organizational business leadership when it comes to capitalistic financing in America. Not my fault.
Well, again, I don't know if it's
give it to white people all the time.
I don't know if it's that, and I don't want to cast those aspersions because I haven't seen their books and I can't really give any evidence or proof to that. But what I will say is, anytime anything caters to a Black audience, they narrow their budgets because they're not a mass audience. That's why they talk about the minority, majority, everything. Even if you talk about government spending, even if you talk about money and funds that are allocated to certain groups, they treat Black people different. So I couldn't sit here and act like that probably wouldn't be the same concept when it comes to BET and their network as opposed to other networks who don't cater to specifically a Black audience. So I don't want to just put that on them that it's mismanagement because they all have the same advertisers, but I would imagine that their advertisers would be a little bit more limited, and B, try to play them because they have Black in their name and they're narrowing their audience. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but does everybody else know what you mean?
LP with the super chat says, artists prioritize production value at the Grammys. The Grammys is loaded though. I think that's a little different. What I was gonna say though, as far as like BET, they planned that James Brown tribute and let him open up that show when other award shows would not. And I would imagine they gave Michael the heads up. This is Michael Jackson. He don't just, roll out of bed and hear
I
something,
mean, it's
whatever. They let him know that James Brown was being, honored, and
that's
he
not
showed
work.
up.
That's not work or doing your job. That's
That
what I'm
is
saying.
work.
It's like,
What you
if
mean?
all you have to do is tell Michael Jackson that James Brown's getting an award and he's coming, though, Mike. That's not doing any work.
So you
He's
think
like,
it's just
getting
that
an award.
easy? Like
He's
Michael
like,
Jackson's just gonna come?
He's like, what time? What time? Tell the driver. Tell me I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong. I don't think Michael Jackson's schedule's
Not
that
about
clear.
James Brown, not the Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson even feels like he got his whole style from James Brown.
Of course, Michael could call James at any time. You know what I'm saying? But even it's not like Michael showed up to everything that James ever did. You know what I'm saying? And that was a great moment. And for me, I prioritize the moments and the people over quote unquote production value, because that's a moment that you can never get. That's priceless. You're never going to get that back. And that was the last time that we saw both of those guys together. And, and I got to give BET credit for that, because no other network did this. And I will never forgive MTV. And, I'm sure people from MTV watch us. I don't know. But I'll never forgive MTV for calling Michael Jackson many things. But when he announced This Is It, they had on MTV.com, former King of Pop, Michael Jackson, announces This Is It tour. And then, yeah. This was in May of 2009. And as soon as Michael drops dead, King of Pop, Michael Jackson is dead. And ever since then, I was like, man, fuck MTV. So I don't care what their production value and all that shit looks like. At least BET open their doors and let our icons share that stage for one last time, because we never knew that it was going to go down like that. LP with the super chat says the Grammys ain't letting you do some BS on stage, so BET allows it, and artists always treat what's outside of the culture better than what's in. Now, I do agree with that. I think that the performances were lackluster, and you got to put that on BET. And I did say this at the beginning. They don't have any original shows anymore. They don't have to put together a 106 in Park 5 days a week. They don't have to put together a Rap City 5 days a week. All they have to do is focus on one award show the whole year. And this is what you put together. Now that is a problem.
You had one job.
You had one job. 365 days, 365 days catered to this one event. Imagine if we had a full staff and there was one event that we're doing, and the whole year you have to center around this event and make sure this event's tight. It sounds like, or it looked like, they put this shit together in a month. That I have a problem with.
Not even.
Now, those aren't budget issues. That's just, some of that stuff, some of those performances.
I told you last year, though, whoever's in charge just needs to severance package.
We need great performers. That's another thing.
You can't get great. You have to do great intel first.
You know who does a good job?
Like BET used to be great at building relationships because they had original content shows.
Yeah.
That it made sense for artists to go on and buy into.
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay, so let's go to a hip hop thing with it. Like Jay and Rockefeller used to live on 106. Nas never showed up until after the Ether thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
And when he showed up, it was like almost like seeing a ghost. Like it mattered. Those things mattered. I was just watching the David Letterman's interview with Will Smith, which is before he smacked Chris Rock. By the way, when you make Pootie Tang, like somebody's gonna randomly walk up and slap the shit out of you one day. Like
I saw that interview. They put like a disclaimer up there. Like,
they did. I didn't like the disclaimer.
No, the disclaimer was like, this was before the slap or whatever. That's what the disclaimer was. But go ahead with your thought. I'm sorry.
No. You made me lose my whole thought when you said that.
You were talking about Will and being on Letterman.
I'm hold on because he was referencing something like in a hip hop context. Just he was. I forgot. Keep running.
Will's a pioneer in hip hop. Chris is asleep with the super chat. We appreciate the love. He says, "Sup, y'all? About to head to work. Hope y'all having a blessed day. Just want to ask your thoughts. See what your thoughts were. Excuse me. The affirmative action remix over the hard to handle sample. Dope joint. Cheers. Haven't checked that out. I'm gonna check that out. And cheers to you as well, Chris. Clayton is asleep. Did I say Chris is asleep? I know somebody named Chris Clayton.
Clayton.
Yeah,
Clayton
it's Clayton. Yeah. I think I said Chris at first. Clayton is asleep. Be showing love. But yeah, man. I agree with you 100% as far as like the parameters and just being able to set a standard. And I do think the BET needs to do better at that. And you're right. Those shows that BET used to have, not only did they develop a relationship with the audience, but they developed a relationship with the network, and it gave them some chops to go on where it was like, this ain't my first time performing on TV. You know what I mean? Now I will say this: the Soul Train Awards, those performances are good. Are we turning into a time where R&B performers are just much better than rap performers?
That's the point that I was making.
Yeah.
Will Smith was talking about how the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air actually happened because he was hanging out at the Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so there was a time where it's like, well, black talk shows and black award shows and like it mattered in the culture, but we made it viable and made it matter. And if it doesn't matter anymore, it's like we just need to do the next thing because that's what everybody else does,
Well, that's what we always do. We always coming up with new stuff.
So why are we still sitting in these tight ass seats and like Hov and Nas ain't in front sipping no more? Don't nobody care? My head, Mike. Don't care.
LP with the super chat says BET in the early 2000s, like most of the culture when they sold out to corporate interests. Same with Def Jam, Rockefeller, and all the clothing brands. I want to address that too because the thing is, I always hear people talk about BET selling, and Bob Johnson gets a lot of that because he's the founder and of BET, right? He held on to BET for 20 years. When he started BET, the first video played on BET was Earth, Wind, and Fire's Let's Groove, I think it was, yeah. And that's the type of stuff that inspired him to start BET. And so when BET became more of a hip-hop infused entity, I guess you could say, and R&B was very hip-hop influenced, is it possible that he lost a little bit of that passion for what he was doing on that level? And not to mention, when somebody comes with a $1 billion, buyout proposition, and you don't take it, and then they go out there and start a whole nother network, are we disciplined enough to say, you know what? I'm not going to support this network that Viacom's starting up. I'm going to watch BET.
No, we're not disciplined enough to do that.
If you don't take the money and then they start something that takes you out, and all the people that that were working for you, on BET, end up working for this new network, then your evaluation goes down. What was he supposed to do exactly?
No, he did what he was supposed to do. I don't think anybody's really mad at Bob Johnson. Let's go to what some of Bob Johnson's aesthetic is, though, just musically.
Mm-hmm.
His big pull, at least in my estimation, was getting Donnie Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie Simpson, I believe, was the biggest radio DJ in Washington, D.C., Chocolate City.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, Sherry Carter was big, too.
Huh?
I said Sherry Carter was a big pull, too.
Sherry's big, but Donnie perceived Sherry in terms of pulling of the big fish. Yeah. And I'm pretty certain pulling Donnie had something to do with pulling Sherry because it's like, oh, well, you got Donnie, and Donnie's the man and a legend when he's stepping into BET in local black radio in DC. You get what I'm saying?
Ed Gordon, too. He's another one that's in that class of Ed Gordon.
Yes.
He was another one that was in that class. That's his demo. And when these
So
guys start getting phased out of his network, he probably lost a little bit of interest.
that's what I'm trying to say. The people when he was invested, oh well, those are the people he was invested into. Those were the big DJs that had the big followings that played the type of music that he grew up on,
Yeah.
the music that he followed, the music that he loved. That's why I went to Donnie specifically, because I think Donnie was his first big catch.
Yeah.
That enabled him to kind of catch everything else, because Donnie had DC on lock as a DJ.
And
You feel me?
Tavis Smiley's another one. Like, just from that other,
Yes.
journalistic standpoint, these are his guys.
Right. Those
Yeah.
are his hitters.
Yeah.
That's his squad.
Yeah.
So his squad's getting phased out by what? Somewhere between 98 to 02?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Because it's like
I think anybody would do it.
He might love Free and AJ in 106 in part.
But it's just not his era.
And he loves the numbers more than he loves them. So don't let them numbers differ. Don't let them want to leave and do other stuff. You feel me? So even those people who were winning, like Free and AJ, hits in the street. Remember, what's her name? The little computer chick? Remember when things started going digital?
Ceda's World.
Ceda's World. We went digital on them. We went digital on them early. BET was ahead of the curve with that.
Yo,
They had a whole digital show.
Who was the host of Planet Groove, man? She was sexy, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Ooh.
Oh, somebody in the chat let me know. Mad Max with the super chat said R&B artists.
Keep your head down, Mike.
Mad Max with the super chat says R&B artists can't even sing on stage. Laughing my ass off. Rap artists still perform better than them. Do they? And I don't know if the sonics actually translate, but you're right. Some of these, R&B singers, you can't do the auto-tune on stage. Was it Eliza Michelle? And then they had the Caribbean rhythms with Rachel and all that stuff.
Caribbean rhythms with Rachel. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, they was out here pulling talent. And hold on. And here's what I'm saying. Oh, the talent wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? Because they had viable reason to. That's what I'm saying. It's like, no. Donnie made Sherry want to be there. Tavis Smiley, Ed Gordon. It's like, no, if you're in Black lexicon, culture, music, literature, journalism, people that use literary devices, Leroy. Right. It's like, no, this is where you want to be. This is home. They top 20. It's like, think about it. It's like you would see something like remember Video Soul, the top 20 countdown?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, like you had rap records and R&B records on there at the same time. Yep. They were showing love. They were acknowledging game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were bringing the artist on. It's like that was the first time I saw Aaliyah do an interview.
Yeah. Those moments, man. And I think that if they want to continue to do the award show thing, right? I think that these networks need to find out a way, and I know it's going to sound crazy, find out a way to play music on your network again. And like you said, have those moments where you saw Aaliyah for the first time. Or I remember Destiny's Child being on BET and MTV Jams, because shout out to Bill Bellamy. He was like one of those guys on MTV that should have been on BET. You know what I mean?
MTV Jams. I watched MTV Jams just because it's like, I was like, oh, they're going to play some rap. They're going to play some R&B. Bill Bellamy going to tell a couple jokes. All right, I'm cool.
Yeah, Bill was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was like those summers where, you would hear whatever Naughty by Nature had out. Feel Me Flow and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I remember Feel Me Flow on MTV Jams because they would do the jam of the week. Feel Me Flow was the jam of the week. I remember just like you do. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like it was the background music or something too.
Yeah, but I remember when Feel Me Flow came out, it was the jam of the week. As soon as it came out, they previewed it. I remember even, Feel Me Flow was the jam of the week on MTV, and it was like, remember how Rap City Top 10 would preview a song?
Yep.
The week before it would probably make an entry. So I remember seeing Feel Me Flow on BET and MTV. I was like, oh, Naughty's back.
And see, the thing is, though, man, where we're at right now is you got networks that really aren't thriving on music being played, and they're just playing reruns of old 90s sitcoms. And then you got artists that are putting out music videos that aren't getting any traction or any views because no one knows that they're out. You know what I'm saying? Did you see, and I'm not saying that this is something that people ain't seen, but I don't know if you saw the Conway and Jill Scott video yet.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Now, you know how much that would help that record if these networks still play music videos.
Okay, so that's the type of record that with her, that if this is, how about this? If this is 2005 and they do this same song
Mm-hmm.
and record and video, he becomes a star because of it.
Yeah. It's hard
He
to
becomes a
create
star
stars. It's really
off
hard to
this
create.
one record because the record's there, the chemistry's there, the video's there. This would be one of those records that should make him a star.
This should be on 106 in Park, right?
This would be on 106 in Park.
I agree. And you know, it's crazy because during that era, and maybe that was just me being on some, bullheaded rap shit, I felt like around 2003, 2004 ish, music really got watered down. I would even say 2002. And to the point where everything that was being played on BET was just, they playing the same old stuff. You had a countdown show with the same songs being played, same 10 songs every day, and everything that was about to get in the countdown sounded like stuff that was on the countdown. And now we're at a place where there's a lot of really good music out there, and it's nowhere to display it in those arenas. They got to train people's minds again to actually care about seeing music on television again, and I think there's room for it. I think the morning time there's room for it because people
Not
ain't
even
waking
that.
up in
No,
the
no, no.
morning.
You want to know why there's room for it? Because, and I say this respectfully, well, that was in a time where radio would play everything. And now radio's gotten more contrived, but everything is digital and visual now. And so what really BET and MTV and all these places are really missing is that you all need to become the new radio station, but with videos. And that would get the artist to buy in. If artists knew,
Personalities included.
No. If an artist knew somewhere, it's like if I do a dope record in a dope video, like
Exactly.
Chanel Pearls, Conway and Jill Scott. If I do this record,
Yep.
I know that if I hit the mark with this record in terms of the quality of the record, because the record's the quality, it's not just that the video's dope; it's a dope song.
Yeah.
You know, it has people arguing. It's like, yo, did Jill got more bars than Conway on it? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if he knew that there was a place for him to go do that and get seen more, he would do that more.
There's no targets. You know what I'm saying? There's no people are sitting there in the studio creating with no targets to aim at.
Hold on. Revolt's not that. Revolt does not do a good job of that.
This is my thing with Revolt, and I love everybody, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to talk shit. The thing about Revolt is everything that's on Revolt is on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how it's even a network because anything that you see on Revolt, you can pull up on YouTube. I mean, they don't have like original episodes or anything like that. LP with the super chat says, so Bob said, this isn't my music. Let me sell it to Viacom. What happened to passing it down? Staying in the culture. Am I missing something, y'all saying? I think what you might be missing, LP, that I'm saying is when the person who has this $1 billion and unlimited check to buy you out can sit there and start another network to compete with you and take out all of your employees and have them working for you, then yeah, they can take you out in that way. It's almost like one of those things where like, look, you either sell us this land or we'll find a way to get you off of it for real.
Correct. So you have to understand. So he's
and Barry Gordy had to deal with this with Motown, by the way, too. I mean,
so let's unpack this real quick, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. And this is why I'm saying there's no problem with Bob Johnson with all of this. And I get what LP is saying. Let's go big picture. When you're the first one, what you really have to do is find a way, no matter what way, to enable the next person. Let me tell you something about how this nation works. Wherever you make your bones as a black man, they are never going to let you eat off of it like it should. People forget what Bob Johnson did with that Viacom check. He went and bought the Charlotte Hornets. And who did he pass the Charlotte Hornets down to?
Exactly. He made Michael Jordan deservingly.
So when you're talking about a power move, understand that this is checkers and not chess. They weren't going to let him have that and hold that. He took the money and then he went and bought something else, and he did pass that on to a black man. Yes, he did.
And he made Michael Jordan the only black
The
owner
only
in pro
to
sports.
this day.
This is Michael Jordan. I think we've talked about this before. Michael
Ain't no
Jordan
regular
has
guy.
made the NBA so much money. And
This ain't
not
no
even just the
regular guy.
NBA. Any athlete that's getting any kind of endorsements, they owe Michael Jordan credit for that, right? It took for Bob Johnson to start a BET, hold on to it for 20 years, sell it to Viacom, create a team from scratch in Charlotte, North Carolina,
Yes.
name it after himself,
Bobcats.
and sell it to Michael Jordan for Michael Jordan to be the only black owner, in pro sports. Now
These are facts.
the
This
Wizards
is not
promised him.
conjecture. This is not conjecture. I want everybody to understand this is not conjecture. Me and
This
Mike are
is
not
what
making this
happened.
up.
Yeah.
This happened.
And what also happened, Michael Jordan went out there and came out of retirement and played for the Wizards for 2 years because they promised him ownership and lied
Just to get
to
his
him.
weight, just to get their weight up. He
And
didn't even want
lied
to
to
play.
him.
He played 2 years because they promised him a piece of the pie to get their weight up. And when he realized he wasn't going to get a piece, he fell back.
Yep. And Bob Johnson, seeing all of that, he built the Bobcats for Michael Jordan to own it.
Correct.
So I have no problem with any of that. So like you said, you pass it. That's passing it down.
Paving the way. Yeah. And here's another little known fact. You know what Michael Jordan has done with that people don't talk about? Employed a ton of people within the Charlotte organization who happen to share the same skin tone and color as he do. As a matter of fact, you're going to be hard pressed to find a basketball organization that has more black employees in position of power than the Charlotte Hornets. How did that happen?
Yeah, exactly. Ownership. And you know what? There's nobody, I can't think of any other than Tyler Perry. I would say Tyler Perry, Bob Johnson, and Michael Jordan employ more black people on executive levels than anybody. Level.
Yes.
And that's just what it is. And they're here to do that, and that's how they roll. And I respect it.
But
not to mention the Jordan brand.
But hold on. But let's understand how groundbreaking and important BET was. So let's go to, remember the original Batman? You know I'm a big Prince fan. Mm-hmm. You know the first time I saw the video to Party Man off of the Batman soundtrack?
It's on BET?
It's on BET.
Yeah.
The world premiere on BET on Video Soul. I remember they had a special time that they were showing the Prince video from the Batman soundtrack, Party Man. See, Bob Johnson had enough pull in the black community because of what he did to showcase artists and put artists on. And Prince was a progressive enough thinker, even in 1989, understanding that he had the whole Batman soundtrack from Warner Brothers, the label he was signing to, at his disposal. Who could give that premiere to?
Yep. Well,
you see what I'm saying about how when you feed your people feed you that. People forget stuff like that. When Prince got the Batman soundtrack, BET got the world premiere, not MTV, not some white people. Bob Johnson got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? All that being said, Lil Nas X has the nerve to piss on a BET
And this
award.
Is what you pissing on? You pissing on something Prince used to like world premiere.
You're a clown.
But you don't know your history. But you don't know. I can't even be mad at him. He don't know his history, Mike.
I think, you know what? I'm more so mad at the people not being outraged from him doing that and checking him. See, these are the things that happen where things don't get unchecked and shit just gets disarray.
He don't get checked. He get Jack Harlow wearing a short for him like he's somebody we should be championing.
Yeah, I guess Jack Harlow's cool with a BET award being pissed on too, and then gets on stage at the award attempting to do the electric slide with background dancers, having Wayne and Brandy save his show. Man, please.
Welcome to the barbecue.
Man, ain't no barbecue. Barbecue. I don't know who told people barbecues exist, but they don't.
It's more of a cookout, actually. Call it a kickback now.
Well, the cookout, whatever, yeah.
It's more of a kickback
Listen,
now.
Man. Listen. Everybody's invited to the cookout. How about that? Anyway. Man, where do we go from here?
I'm around here.
Oh, this is where I wanted to go. Did you see Kanye show up at the BET Awards? What did you think about that?
I didn't think about that, but do you want to talk about it?
You know, it feels like, and it's funny, man, because this is Babyface, right? Babyface, super legend, probably the greatest songwriter of all time, really. When we look at the catalogs, ridiculous.
Do you think he's the greatest songwriter of all time?
I think in terms of writing for others, yes. I think
Yes,
that,
writing for others. Yes.
I think that
Sometimes I
Prince.
often wonder that it's like, did he empty his clip like on everybody else
Oh yeah.
outside? Because if you look outside of his like Whip Appeal album with like Never Keeping Secrets and Whip Appeal and like all that, because I think he wrote Ready or Not he wrote for After 7 too, because his brother was in the group. Like he wrote like Ready or Not, I think too.
Yeah, he wrote all that. I mean, he was John Stockton with it, man. He was giving assists, man. So
no, he's better than John Stockton. You stop that.
John Stockton's the greatest assister of all time. What do you mean? There's nobody better than John Stockton in that arena.
Magic Johnson's a better assister.
He might have made it look better, but there's no way. Listen. I hear you. I feel you. But John Stockton's assist record is never going to be broken. And we just got to deal with that. We just got to deal with it.
You've seen Magic Johnson with the ball in his hand, Mike. It's not like you're 30.
No, I feel you. I've seen it. But I also see that this guy.
You've seen it live.
I also see that this guy, he has a record that's never going to be broken.
So how many rebounds did Will average for his career?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I think it's 23.
Something like that.
Is it 23? Something absurd like that?
Yeah. If he's
the
greatest rebounder ever
of all time, or do they call 6'8" Dennis Rodman the greatest rebounder of all time?
I mean, depends on
who you ask.
I think
I tell you, Barkley's a better rebounder than Wilt, pound for pound, at his size.
We're not gonna let you dump on Wilt this show. I'm sorry. I think that the thing about Wilt,
Barkley was 6'4",
and I don't like talking about Wilt.
Rebound seasons at 6'4".
I don't like talking about Wilt.
People were actually 7 feet tall, legitimately at center on all the teams.
I feel you, but that doesn't make him a better rebounder. But I feel you. But what I'm gonna say about Wilt, I don't think it's fair for us to judge Wilt in any context because none of us actually saw him play.
It's true.
We're just going off of what we've seen on numbers, man. It ain't fair. I've seen
It's hard to judge Oscar Robertson because of that. Because I was actually thinking we keep having this Steph Isaiah like talk, and it's like, man, we don't even talk about Oscar because we didn't get to see Oscar. You understand? This man
it ain't fair.
He averaged a triple-double the year my mother was born.
Exactly. LP with the super chat says, all that, and we think Bob would have failed with BET. All that, and we think Bob would have failed with BET. No, I think it's a success story because at the end of the day,
success story, big success.
At the end of the day, even outside of what Bob did, and everything that we were just talking about with Michael Jordan and how he became the owner of the Bobcats, think about how many people were able to build their empires off of the platform that BET was. And like I said, if BET doesn't come along, MTV's not playing black artists like that, especially not no rap shit.
Never.
That's not happening.
Hold on. MTV
They were forced. They were forced to play black music because of BET.
MTV Jams exists because like BET started winning.
Yeah, MTV Rap.
That's what I mean. Like
exists because of Rap City.
Like Prince doing that whole Batman thing. Like that's what I'm saying. That's one of those turn the tide type of moments where they're like, hold on, Prince gave BET a whole. People forget Prince was on MTV, one of the first artists on MTV too, like 1999.
Yeah.
Your Little Red Corvette. It's like, no, they were giving him run. So when he did that, they were kind of like, hold on, what? Like, we play Prince. Like, we love you. He's like, yeah, I'm black. Fuck you.
This is the thing, man. Even though Prince, and Rick James had a back and forth or whatever, Prince saw how artists like Rick James and other black artists were being treated. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't playing their records, and at that time, or they weren't playing their videos at that time, they didn't have anywhere else to go to get their shit played. So when BET opened their doors and they were playing their stuff, it's like MTV's like, well, shit, for the ratings, we need to go ahead and start playing these black artists. Because if BET never would have came around, they would have kept that barrier up as long as they could. What I was going to say, though, about Kanye. Babyface is out there introducing Puff. And it seems like Ye just came out of nowhere. I don't think he was supposed to be there. I think he just popped up. It didn't seem like that was in the script. They showed some footage of him just totally ignoring the teleprompter. and he was just speaking his stuff. And I will say this.
People are getting on you about saying Yo MTV was out before Rap City.
No, it wasn't.
Yo MTV Raps is not before Rap City?
No, it's not.
I think it is, Mike.
Let's
I think
look
by
this
about
up.
maybe I think maybe by about like 15 months, maybe. I think there's like a 15
It's
or 18
not.
month
I'm
gap.
telling y'all, it's not. Let's look it
No, because
up.
remember Fab Five Freddy had a whole lot to do with that, because Fab Five Freddy was a renowned graffiti artist
I
and kind
understand
of
that
like,
he was around
Fab Five
before.
Freddy was low key kind of like Puff before Puff to a lot of people. You know that, right?
He was.
Like, yeah,
So you
like
know
Fab
what?
Five
I
Freddy was
think you
Puff.
guys are right. It was '89 when Rap City came about, and Yo came out in '88. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
That's what I said.
thinking.
It's like a
You know what?
15 month gap.
I'm
It's not.
thinking about something else. I'm thinking about Comic View or something because I think they were
It's not.
saying
It's
that.
not a. It's not a big gap, Mike. I
Yeah.
remember it. It was like a 15 month gap. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I appreciate y'all correcting me because I don't want to be out here inaccurate on this microphone. But yeah,
It was.
89, 88. Because I think the first video, and we can look this up too, I think the first video ever played on Yo MTV Rap was Follow the Leader. So
Is it?
I think so. Y'all tell me if I'm right in the chat. George Williams, because he said he remembers. He said it was October 1988. Was the first video Follow the Leader? So I'm not a complete ignoramus, you know what I mean? But yeah, Kanye.
Go ahead.
I love the fact that Kanye was giving Puff his props, man. And I like some of the things that Kanye said about Puff. When Puff calls, he answers because, some of the things that Puff did, he broke down a lot of barriers, broke a lot of rules when it came to hip hop. And, I think that it's an interesting choice for Kanye to go out there and speak on Puff, but from producer to producer, I dig it. And I'm glad he came out there in his own Kanye way. Now, we're going to get to this a little later, too. I know Puff is really involved in politics and was talking all this black stuff and this black unity and yada yada. I don't want to say yada yada like I don't believe him, but I wonder if he's going to support Kanye for president. I just want